There's no such thing as a bad date, right? Every type of date can teach you something about yourself and give you an opportunity to grow and practice what it means to be, in your feminine and be connected with men. That's the sort of process that I teach to my clients.
Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. When you think back over all the relationships you've had and all the guys you've dreamed about and all the guys you met online, you start to draw some conclusions about men. You know what men are like. It is so hard to find the good ones. And then you find someone that you think is the one. And it's like winning the lottery. You have met the best guy on the planet and he's yours. And then he turns out to be a jerk after all. Our guest for today knows how rough it is to keep searching for love and to keep getting slapped back. Matt Shaffer is an intuitive coach who helps women create beautiful, soulful relationships with men who adore them. And if you're a regular subscriber to my channel, you will remember meeting Matt back on the show in April. Today, Matt is back to share the hidden reason why it is so hard to find good guys who respect your heart. And if you would like Matt to help you with your love life, then make sure to watch until the end of the show where we will be giving you a very special opportunity to work with Matt yourself. Welcome, Matt.
It is so wonderful to be here, Amy. Thank you for having me. I love connecting with you and the tribe. It's always a blast.
So we have to start out with the big question. Why are so many men players and jerks?
Honestly, men, here's the thing. I know so many women. I work with women all over the world, right? And a lot of them, when they come to me, they have created exactly that narrative, exactly that story, that all men are jerks, that all men are players, that all men are taking advantage of them, right? Or that if I have a good man, it's not going to last, right? And so here's the thing, the first thing I always ask them to look at is how can you possibly know that? Can you possibly know that to be true? That all men are this, that all men are this way. And they say, well, that's been my experience, right? And I'm like, okay, how many experiences is that based upon? And they'll say 3 or 5. And I'm like, or maybe 7. And I'm like, okay, so that's 7. You've had 7 experiences with men. And because of that, you have made up a story, right? That all the hundreds of thousands of men that are within even just 5 to 7 miles of you, right, are that way. And so can you possibly know that to be true? And they're like, of course I can't, And I'm like, okay. So the first thing that we always get to look at, right, is that anytime we create a general assumption about all of anything, we have created a false belief, because there are no universals in life, especially when it comes to people, right? And this is what happens so often with women, right? Is that over time, they create these huge walls, right? These huge walls of belief, that all men, and the reason that it happens, right, is because why? Because women are trying to protect themselves. You get hurt by a handful of men, and naturally you decide that, okay, well, I don't want to get hurt anymore. Therefore, I'm not going to date because of this reason, these huge universal reasons. But the problem is that when we protect ourselves like that, when we cut ourselves off from human connection because of these massive generalized stories, we end up alone, right? We end up alone. And then that creates its own set of beliefs. So it's very important to look at your beliefs, right? Because your beliefs will reinforce themselves in your experience out in the world.
Okay, so I'm going to test you on that, Matt.
Yeah.
So what if we have a woman who is on Tinder and she keeps scrolling through and she's like, jerk. Because you can tell when you look at those pictures, jerk. And then she maybe finds one, he's like, okay, he's nice. And she goes out with him and he's like, if you're not interested in a one night stand, I'm not interested in you. And she's like, man, let me try another one. And she goes out. What is the deal? And so one of the things that women conclude, and I think there's a nugget of truth in this, is that dating apps have turned dating into a game. And there's a lot of guys out there who see dating as a game and they're trying to win. They're not even looking for love. So is it true? Is it not true that to a certain extent, the dating scene today really shows up and makes those players and those jerks shine because that's what you're getting in the online dating algorithm?
Here's the thing, like, I'm not going to sit here and try to say that there aren't like plenty of men out there that are treating it that way. But I want to challenge you on the fact that dating being a game is a bad thing, right? There are men out there that are looking to take advantage of that game, right? But here's the thing, like, I think looking at dating as a game is actually healthy, because what do we do when we play a game, right? We're light, we're playful, we're competitive, right? We can be competitive, but in a healthy way, right? You can play a game in a healthy, constructive way. It doesn't mean, but it doesn't have to be a win-lose game, right? So what the reframe I want to make to you here is that, like, yes, online dating creates an opportunity for people who do have bad intentions to go out there and get what they want, or try to manipulate and use women. But you could say the same thing about a bar. A bar is a toxic place, or even the soup, or any container that you could potentially meet people is an opportunity for someone who has bad intentions to manipulate other people. And so one of the reframes I give women around online dating is that it's just like any other container, right? There are people in there that are looking to take advantage of others, and there are people in there that genuinely want to meet people. And online dating just gives you a more efficient mechanism to filter through people and find people who are in alignment with what it is that you want, because everybody's there with the same intention in theory, right? Everybody's there with the same intention that they want to meet somebody. You can't control why they want to meet somebody, but they want to meet somebody. And so rather than looking at dating as this like outcome oriented technique, right? Like, so many women, they get so hung up on the outcome that the process just becomes a byproduct, right? The process of dating. And I invite you, in dating, and this is what I do with my clients all the time, to shift your focus away from the outcome and instead focus on the process of dating and the beliefs that you choose to adopt. Because here's the thing, when it comes to your beliefs, you have two options. You can either allow your beliefs to just be created by experiences that you've had. And I guarantee you, when you do that, your mind and your ego are going to create your beliefs based around the hurtful experiences that you have. Whereas, or you can choose your beliefs based upon the life that you want to have. Your beliefs can be a reaction to the experiences that you've had to try to protect you from getting hurt, or your beliefs can be proactive. You can say, I want a loving relationship. I want to have a fulfilling life, right? I want to create a meaningful, soulful connection with somebody. Therefore, I choose to believe that there are plenty of men out there who can give that to me. I choose to believe that I'm worthy of that type of relationship. You see what I'm saying? And when you make that conscious choice to choose beliefs that are in alignment with the sort of life and relationship you want to have, the experiences you will start having as you focus on the process of dating and find joy just in the experience of going out there and getting to know men, releasing men that aren't in alignment, having a great date. Maybe it doesn't turn into a great relationship, but even if you have one or two good dates with somebody, there's something to be gained from that. There's growth that can occur there. But women get so preoccupied with, I need to find the one. I want to find the guy. And every time it doesn't happen, it creates this wound, right? And beliefs start flowing out of that. And then it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy and this self-perpetuating cycle. And I just have to just implore you that, you can either be reactive with your beliefs and operate from a wounded, cynical space when it comes to dating, or you can be proactive and choose your beliefs and just decide that dating is a process. And it is a game, but it's a game in which you can't lose. If there's no such thing as a bad date, right? Every type of date can teach you something about yourself and give you an opportunity to grow and practice what it means to be, you know, in your feminine and be connected with men. That's the sort of process that I teach to my clients.
So let me ask you then, is this kind of like the law of attraction where you're creating affirmations and repeating them and trying to reprogram your mind so that you attract good things to you?
I mean, that's a component of it. I mean, I think that we live in a world where, you know, where what we give our energy to and what we choose to direct our focus to starts to become more powerful and prevalent in our lives. You know, like I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. I'm a firm believer that what we spend our time and our energy pouring into, like we're going to create. So like, what are you feeding? What are you nourishing? You know, like what's the story you're telling yourself? You know, that's really at the end of the day, like being so conscious and deliberate, right? With how you choose to direct your energy and your focus especially when it comes to dating and relationship will make a world of difference, right? And it really starts with, at the foundational level, how you see yourself, how you see what you're worthy of, you know? And I know a lot of women, you know, when they start working with me, they do my course, right? Which is what we're talking about here. And what I'd love to share with you, a portion of my course that I'm going to be doing here in a couple of weeks. But like, they've created this story based upon their experiences. They've created these beliefs that they're not worthy of this relationship, and that all these men out there are just reinforcing that to them, their own unworthiness, you know? And as you change that narrative around who you are, as you shift those beliefs, your beliefs go from being like the bars on a prison cell to being like a ladder that you can climb to, like, you know, a higher understanding of yourself and to just a completely better life. And so, you know, that's a choice, and that's 100% a choice that you can make today. That's what's exciting about all
Okay, so
this.
let's say we've got a woman who's like, that would be awesome because I really have had a lot of hurtful experiences with men. I don't trust them. I'm not sure. I'm willing to go with this idea, but I've got this problem, Matt. How do I change a belief?
Well, the first step, and this is exactly the process that I'm going to be teaching, like in this course that we're doing next week. But like, it really starts off with identifying your beliefs, right? And the process of your identifying your beliefs causes you to really look at the different areas of your life and recognize how your beliefs have created your results. Like the flow of belief into result is at the foundation of understanding and identity. I like to say your beliefs are like an invisible box. Like they're all around you all the time. They're constantly, you know, influencing your behavior, and they really are creating the parameters of your reality, right? And you're operating by them all the time, but a lot of times you don't even know what they are because you're experiencing them as emotions and you're experiencing them as behavior and decisions and actions. You know, you're not looking beneath the surface and seeing what's motivating that stuff. So you identify the beliefs that you no longer wish to have through the process that I'm going to teach you, and then you choose to adopt a flip or a different belief that is in alignment with the life that you want to have. That's at the essence of the process of transformation. And it's not easy, right? It's simple, but it's not easy. It's a simple thing to say, but it's not necessarily easy, especially if you've become very attached to your story, right? To your scarcity story, that there are no good men out there, right? That all men are this, that all men are that. That becomes for a lot of women kind of a security blanket, you know, because it comforts them the next time it happens, right? Because they're going out into the dating world almost expecting to be disappointed. And then when they get disappointed, they say, well, just like I always said, you know, and so therefore it doesn't hurt as much because they've become so attached to that negative belief, you know. But the problem is that because you become so attached to it, you actually are unconsciously or subconsciously looking for experiences to reinforce that story. So that's like the freaky thing about this whole process, is that you will subconsciously attract experiences and manufacture experiences for yourself that reinforce your beliefs. So that's why choosing your beliefs is the single most important thing you can do to create the life and relationship that you want, even if they seem like complete BS when you first start adopting them, which is always, you know, what so many people say, and what my own experience was too. You know, I don't preach this stuff in the abstract. This was my own process of transformation, and so that's like what I love to teach and help my clients shift into.
And this is really exciting because this kind of concept can seem really abstract. You can think, where do I start? But you are actually going to be guiding women through this in a week-long course, completely free. And listen, anybody out there watching, we're going to give you a link so you can sign up in just a little bit. So tell us about this opportunity.
Yeah, well, I love this. Is honestly like I do 2 huge courses, and they both cost between $1,000 to $5,000. And I was like, I wanted to take what I feel is like the most important foundational step, right? The step that oftentimes for a lot of my clients and students gets them the biggest transformation. I mean, my one-on-one coaching, which costs like 12 grand, like the first thing I make everyone do is this process, right? And it is foundationally around identifying your beliefs through a mechanism that nobody else out there is doing this process that I do, right? Identifying your beliefs and then, transforming them and transitioning them into, beliefs that actually serve you. Because a lot of times the beliefs that you're holding on to, often with complete commitment, are not serving you. And so in this week-long sort of course experience, I'm going to be facilitating and live teaching this concept to you, right? In an online container on Zoom, right? And there's going to be a Facebook group also with support, community support for everybody. We're going to have accountability coaches you can ask questions to. Those are all students who have graduated from my course, who are coming back to serve and support, you. So you're going to have tons of support. You're going to have live coaching from me, and you're going to have just like a great experience where you're going to get to do a lot of deep inner work. And by the end of that week, you will have, if you do the work, right, and you show up, you will have created some radical transformation in your life. And you will be in such a better position to go out into the world and date and connect with and find like truly the sort of love that you're worthy of. Even if you can't see or feel that right now, you are worthy of a deep, profound, meaningful love. And it is waiting for you the instant that you decide to believe that it's possible. And that's what we're going to be really unpacking, getting to the bottom of next week. So it's really
tell
exciting.
me though, you're just giving this away. What do you expect from the students who go through your course?
Yes, well, basically, because this is actually going to be the live recording of a course. So it's a course that I'm going to be selling, and you guys are going to be participating with me as beta testers. So you'll be in the container. It's going to be me sort of on the fly teaching this stuff and recording our experience together. And then I'm going to be selling it after the fact, from somewhere between 37 to a couple $100. But like all I want from you in exchange for your participation is really just feedback and testimonials. Feedback and testimonials to help me make this the best possible experience and product before I take it out into the world at large. So that's all I'm asking for from you.
So when does it start? When's the start date for this?
We start October 14th. So next Wednesday, we're going to be diving in. And as soon as you sign up through the link that's associated with this video, you're gonna get all the details on how to join the Facebook group and details around when the sessions are. And in the Facebook group, you're going to have access to all these different resources that are like associated with the curriculum, like our workbook. You're going to get a great workbook that's going to have all the exercises that are connected to these live lessons, right? So you're going to have live lessons, then you're going to have a supporting workbook and exercises for you to really do this deep inner work. This isn't about you just listening to me talk or getting live coaching from me. You're going to have the opportunity to do the work for yourself, which is absolutely the most important part. But yeah, it's going to be the 14th through, I believe, like the 22nd is like the full 7 days or so. And you're going to have live lectures and then a lot of Q&A coaching with me as well. So anything that's coming up for you, which I guarantee you, as you start digging into your beliefs, a lot is going to come up for you. You're going to have the opportunity to ask me about that, because I'm a master belief blockbuster and belief flipper. That's what I love to do more than anything.
And for those of you watching, are you ready to get signed up? If so, then we have a link for you. Just go to yourbrilliance.org/Matt. That's yourbrilliance.org/MAT and sign up, and you can start this course for free with Matt on October 14th. And I really hope you take advantage because this is a very cool opportunity. It may not come up again, so take advantage. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming onto the show. And I wonder if you have any last message you would like to leave our viewers with.
Absolutely, Amy. And so what I would love to thank you so much for having me, by the way. It's just so fun, and I can't wait to connect with so many of you amazing ladies here in the course next week. And if I were to leave you with a final thought, I would like to just share with you that no matter what you have experienced, no matter how your life has gone up until now, no matter what beliefs you are holding on to up until now, no matter what experiences and results you've gotten up until now, transformation happens in a moment. Radical transformation starts the moment that you commit to creating change in your life. The moment that you commit to taking that first step in the other direction, everything changes, right? So just know that nothing that you have experienced is, unovercomable, right? I have had clients who have had 50 years of abuse. I had a client who was brainwashed by a malignant narcissist and enslaved to him for 40 years. And within 6 months of us working together, she healed it, transformed, created new love in her life. No matter what you have gone through in your life, it is never too late. It's never too late. And all it takes is you committing to taking that first step and then just trusting the process that's going to happen with your commitment. Okay. So that would be, if there was one message to share with you, it's that. And I hope that, you allow me to be a part of that process with you, because it's what makes my life worth living, is to help you.
Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you out there for watching. Now, if you want to do Matt's course, make sure and type yes down in the comments and go click on that link below to sign up for the details. For more interviews like these, make sure to subscribe to Your Brilliance TV here on YouTube, and then come on over to yourbrilliance.com for more tips and insights on how you can live your most brilliant life. See you next time.